Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Loving Life Freely here on YouTube, and I am a full-time reseller on eBay and Poshmark. We are going to be discussing a few topics for our reseller chat this week. I've got a few things that I want to talk about with the holidays just around the corner in the first of the year, as well as supplies for your business, different tools for the business. So just a myriad of different things I thought we would talk about today. So if something like that is of interest to you, do feel free to stick around and stay tuned. We're going to get right into it. Okay, you guys, I'm super excited to talk about some different things today. It's a little bit different topics of video. We have the holidays just around the corner. Thanksgiving is 2 days from today. First of all, happy Thanksgiving to every single one of you, whether you're brand new to my channel or if you're returning. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you. I really pray that your Thanksgiving with your family or friends is just very blessed, and that God richly blesses your time together, your dinners, your conversation, your fun time. I hope you all have a wonderful day together. If you're brand new to reselling, welcome to the community. I would love to say welcome to you. This is a wonderful time in life right now to be a reseller, and it's a fun adventure, a lot of hard work, but a fun adventure. So welcome to the community. Sorry, I'm kind of all bundled up because it's chilly today. I don't really like this neckline, but it is what it is. It's a warm sweater. So let's dive in here. One of the first things that I want to do, y'all, is just give you a life update. I haven't put the video out yet, but I am putting a video out this week about boxes. And I go into detail about my thoughts on boxes in that video, so do stay tuned for that. Do feel free to subscribe if you want to see some upcoming videos about unboxings and different things like that. But I have come to realize, due to an experience that I've had this last week and a very serious conversation with my husband, we both agree, I am still going to buy some particular boxes, but I'm not going to be buying boxes from Helpsy source for a while, at least. Not anytime soon. I am needing to email them again. I had a great box with Banana Republic, and actually have another Banana Republic box waiting for me to unpack. I'm presuming it's probably going to be just as good as my first one. I've already sold quite a few pieces from that box. But I ordered 2 athletic boxes, one men's, one women's. And I ordered 2 Free People boxes. Again, I'm not going to go into all the detail, but let's just say I was not happy once I started listing things. And so I kind of feel like I'm throwing my money out. So anyway, do feel free to watch that video, you guys. Again, I go into more detail. I share my story about why I made that decision. I do have some resellers that source for me, and I am looking for other avenues of sourcing, but the one particular gal that I've been buying boxes from lately has had great inventory. Lots of bread and butter brands on top of nicer quality brands. The cog that we've agreed on in the boxes has been great cog for me. I'm able to sell those items anywhere from 15, 20, 25, 30 and up, depending on the piece. And because my cog is low, and she sends me good quality items, I'm going to continue to buy from her, and I so appreciate her. And then I'm also going to really get back to selling boutique items. I used to sell a lot of jewelry and do boutique items. And after watching a video from a gal who has been doing boutique for a very long time, I'm not sure why I got away from doing jewelry, but I did. I still have jewelry listed, but I don't focus on it. I have ordered more jewelry that's going to be coming in. I will be showing you those items. But when I was selling jewelry, like really selling it over a year and a half ago, I was actually selling quite a few jewelry pieces. And since then, I've learned a lot of tips and tricks on how to do jewelry and different things like that. So I'm going to continue to sell my clothing items on eBay and Poshmark, but I'm going to be vamping up my boutique in Poshmark with jewelry and different other brand new items in my boutique. So I'm going to be working on that on top of finishing up going through my inventory here. So I am going to be making that change. You will not be, I'm going to do I'm going to share my unboxing of my Free People. I had 2 boxes. And I'm also going to share my unboxing of the Banana Republic with you. But as far as buying from Helpsy Source again anytime soon, I'm not. Either the items that I'm getting that are lower end items, there just been too many flaws, and I don't care for, for that and other factors. Again, watch the video about me and boxes. But yeah, I'm just going to stop doing that for a while and just switch over to what I know is going to work for me. The gal that I've been buying these boxes from, she takes pictures of the exact items that are selling in the box, gives a description, and you purchase the box. So I'm going to stick with her. Really happy with that, and really appreciate the pieces that she's been sending me. Again, great bread and butter pieces, and she also sends out other nicer brand pieces in those boxes as well. Okay, so that's kind of my life update. Again, I'm still going through inventory back here. That's still going to take a while. I would like to try and be done with that by the end of next month, so I need to kind of get my foot on that. The other change that I've made is I'm kind of running out of room in my inventory space. So instead of listing 10 items a day, I'm going to be listing 5 items a day. So I'm still working on the algorithm and adding new pieces into my store and closet, but I'm going to cut back to 5 items a day for now until I can get rid of some of this older inventory. And my boutique items will be a blessing because they're so small. When you're selling jewelry and boutique items, they don't take up nearly the space that clothing items take up. And also, I'm no longer going to be picking up shoes. I'm going to sell off what I have, what will sell, and I'm not going to be doing shoes again for a while. I'm just really niching down, figuring out what works for my inventory space, what has been working for me the past year and a half that I know I'm making good profit at, and really refocusing on those items. And moving in that direction. Okay, so let's talk about some of the other topics I want to discuss. One is prepping for the holidays, you guys. With the holidays here, I don't know about y'all, all my stuff for the holidays is listed. I don't really specifically list for the holidays right now. Last year I focused a lot on new with tags items. But a lot of those new with tags items were items that are from Nordstrom. And I still have a lot of them back here. But I think I listed a lot of those items too high. Even though my COG was like $4 and $5, I listed the items too high. So now I'm just kind of going through all those items and I'm double checking in the inventory. I'm repricing things as I go too. And with the holidays coming up, this is a great time, you guys. If you have old inventory and you kind of want to revamp what's in your inventory, this is such a great time to just really put on a lot of great sales. So if you have items back in my inventory and your inventory, if you have items you wanted to get rid of, this is such a great time of the year to have an excuse to sell off old inventory, because you can discount it really high and people don't question it because you're giving great deals because of the holidays. And after the first of the year is still another great time, because after the first of the year is the biggest slowdown that you typically hit as a reseller. Granted, yes, we had a massive slowdown this last summer. And yes, the economy definitely affected that. But after the first of the year, a lot of people aren't really buying as much because they're recovering from spending so much at Christmas time. We all know that this is what it is. So this is a great time to really discount a lot of your items and continue to flush through what didn't go through during the holidays. And during February and March, it just holds some really good sales, flush out some of that older inventory so that you can bring in some really great stuff for this next 2024. And that's what I'm going to be focusing on, as well as also listing 5 items a day, Monday or 7 days a week. So I encourage you, when you're prepping for the holiday season, also when you're sourcing, start prepping for springtime. I do have items for fall and winter, but all those items have been listed except for my Banana Republic. I probably have some sweaters in there, and I'm going to be getting those listed here very shortly. I have a couple days worth of other inventory, and I'm going to get that unboxed and start listing that, because there's probably sweaters in there too, and I want to get those listed. Because we still do have the winter season coming up after the first of the year. So winter goes through until like March, and people still buy sweaters during the cold season, especially if you're living in states like mine, where you'll have winter until like March or April. So even after the holidays, people are still going to be looking for coats and sweaters and things like that through into the first 3 months of the new year. So I'm definitely going to get that box started. And then once that hits, whatever I get from the gal that I've been buying from, and then my boutique pieces, that's going to be my focus. So yeah, I would definitely encourage start prepping for spring and summer. I've already got some pieces that I've been looking at coming in that I'm excited that spring and summer are already listed, like shorts, sundresses, um, great pieces for like like coming up, events or things like that during spring and summer. Items like that. I list all year round anyway. But when I'm sourcing and I'm looking at what's coming in the boxes, I'm looking for those types of things as well. So if you source at the thrift store or the bins, I would definitely be keeping an eye out for spring and summer already. And if you source boxes online, be looking out for spring and summer, because now is definitely the time to start getting those things listed. So that once the first of the year happens, and people who are already going to be prepping for like spring break or springtime events, some people do purchase things a little bit earlier in advance. Some people will be buy bathing suits and things like that. So yeah, be prepping and preparing for all that stuff. And I'm sure you guys already know all this. Some of you guys are really great with all of these things because some of you have been selling for even longer than I have. I'm mainly talking to, sometimes people kind of forget that it's kind of time to do that if you've been selling for a while. But for those who are kind of new to the reselling community, this is definitely a time. You always want to be like what stores do. They have their stuff in stock the season prior. So we're in winter right now. They've got winter stuff on sale. They already stock spring and summer, like right at the end of winter, at the end of Christmas. They've already got all the athletic wear out because, people start doing the New Year's resolutions. They've got all their spring and summer coming out. Everything right now for fall is already on discounted. So they do a whole season ahead of time. That's what I do my reselling. I do a season ahead of time. Okay. The next thing I thought we would talk about is changing your business model. This is a really great time if you're kind of wanting to change your business model a little bit for next year. Guys, next year is only just over a month away. So if you're wanting to change your business model a little bit, like flushing out old inventory, or adding a different category of inventory, or niching down and to a different category and getting rid of some inventory that is not in that niche. This is the best time right now, especially with the holidays, be able to do sales, and after the first year, being able to do sales. This is such a great time to do a transition in your business model if you want to do so. So I highly encourage you to really think about if you're going to continue with what you're already doing and it's working great for you, and just run some great sales, sell off those things that have been sitting around for maybe 4 or 6 months that you haven't gotten rid of yet. Or if you wanted to niche down and flesh out some things, again, this is such a great time so that by the time spring comes around, you are solidified in what you want for 2024, and you have 3/4 of that year left to really get that gangbusters and get that up and going. So that's what I would recommend is if you're wanting to change your business model, this is a great time now to figure out what that is. Flesh out things that are not in there, bring in things that are going to be fitting that business model, or niching down to a certain category, or certain sizing, or whatever the case may be. Okay, a few other topics. Let's talk about these two things first, because my first topic that I have on my list is a little bit bigger in explanation. Okay, another thing. I would love to know in the comments below, when you guys send your items out, do you use USPS packaging, like the Tyvek mailers, the USPS boxes, or do you use poly mailers? I would love to know in the comments below what you guys use, especially if you sell on eBay. I used to use USPS boxes for certain things, but on eBay, because they do, your fees are charged on your shipping as well. I have stopped using boxes, and I'm now using mainly Tyvek from USPS or poly mailers. Honestly, on Poshmark, it doesn't matter because you have up to 5 pounds. But I would love to know, even at that, unless it's like shoes, what do you typically use to ship your items in? Do you use Tyvek mailers from USPS, or do you use poly mailers? One of the reasons why I like to use the Tyvek even for Poshmark is because they are completely free of charge. Go into USPS, you order the Tyvek mailers, they come, and it doesn't cost you a penny to ship out your items. Versus poly mailers all of that is coming out of your shipping supplies. You're paying for those shipping supplies. Now, if I have an item that is bigger than a Tyvek, obviously I'll put it in a poly mailer. But I'm trying to minimize as much cost going out for me, so I actually switched over to Tyvek USPS several months ago, and I use a lot of Tyvek, mainly use Tyvek for Poshmark, and then for eBay, you get a certain amount when you own a store, you get a certain amount for shipping supplies. I've actually got eBay poly mailers back there that I've gotten for free because of my free shipping supplies that I get through my store. And then if sometimes once in a while, I may have to use my own poly mailer if those aren't big enough. But most of the time, my shipping supplies are free of charge. I would love to know if you use poly mailers, why you use them, and why you don't use free US shipping supplies. I'm just curious. I'd love to know what the majority uses. Because I've seen some people and even YouTube videos, a lot of people use the Tyvek and free supplies. And some people, you see them doing their YouTube videos and they're advertising, hey, I've got a coupon code for these poly mailers. Go check them out. I love using these. This is all I use. And I know some people like using the poly mailers because they're cutesy and everything. But for me, I'm looking at the cost effectiveness, right? It's like, for example, I still use bags to store my items. Maybe someday I'll do a small video on how I do my inventory. But I use plastic bags for my inventory to keep my items stored up so they keep all the, just keep anything off of them, and it just keeps it nice and neat. But when I ship out, I actually use paper to fold it up and then put it in the bag, because that paper costs me 10 cents a piece compared to poly bags, or compared to the little bags that I use. Those are sometimes like 15, 20 cents, and I know it's pennies, but that adds up. And so I reuse my clear bags for my inventory and they just put a new number on it. And then I use the paper, which costs like 10 cents, to use that to ship out, and then I put my thank you sticker on there. So I'm curious what all you guys do. Okay, also, this is another great thing too. Once we get through the holidays and the first of the year, when you have a little bit more time in your hands because things might be a little bit slow, this is a really, really great time of the year, guys. If you need to minimize, reorganize, flush out, get rid of supplies you're not using, shipping supplies you're no longer using, inventory you no longer want to list, maybe there are items that you picked up and you realize that they just aren't going to sell very well, or inventory like what I'm doing. I'm going through inventory. If it's going to sell well still for me, I still keep it and I adjust my pricing. If not, I'm sending it off to Goodwill. I'm not keeping it. I want to get inventory in here that I know is going to sell. So this is such a great time to either reorganize your workspace, your office space, your supplies if they're kind of messy, reorganize your stock. Maybe if you need to go through and verify your stock and make sure that things are listed, because yes, sometimes things get kicked off somehow. This would be a great time right after the first of the year to go through inventory, double check your inventory for the first couple months while things are a little bit slower. So I'm just thinking this is a great time to kind of rethink, readjust. I know I've been going through here, cleaning things out. I've been reorganizing my studio. So when I walk into my workspaces, my shipping station, my supply area, my studio, when I walk in, my brain doesn't get like fogged up and overwhelmed because it's just seeing all this stuff. I walk in, I have a certain spot for certain things, my photo area, my listing area, all those things. I'm really just minimizing, reorganizing so that when I walk into a certain area to conduct certain parts of my business, my brain can focus on what it is that I want to work on at that moment, and it's not pulled in different directions because of all the stuff surrounding it in the perimeter of what I'm working in, and it can't focus and redirect to what's important that you're working on, right? So that would be a good time to do those sorts of things also. Okay, so the one main topic of conversation that I wanted to talk about today was comparison of Poshmark tools, not Poshmark tools, reseller tools. So let's kind of break this down first of all. There's different, if you cross list, like if you sell on eBay and Poshmark, some people also sell on Mercari. That's another thing I'm going to do too, is I think honestly, after talking to a friend of mine and really rethinking where I want to go with things, I still get sales on Mercari, guys, but they're so minimal right now. I know I was saying $100 extra a month makes a difference, but when I think about the amount of time that I spend sometimes on Mercari, sending out things, double checking things for just a few sales once a month, I think I'm going to cut Mercari and just focus on Poshmark, especially with my boutique coming up, and eBay, and just really solidify those two stores and not worry about Mercari. I still have things on Mercari, and I will still cross-list and, delist and relist while I have things on there. So if I do make it so great, but I'm honestly not going to focus on cross-posting and worry about what's liked and all that. If somebody buys something, they buy something. If somebody sends me an offer, I'll accept and sell it. But my focus isn't going to be on cross-posting there. But speaking of which, I currently use Vendoo. I was using List Perfectly at the beginning of this year. I went over there and switched over there because people were raving about it and everything. And it is a great cross-listing platform. My main reason for switching from List Perfectly to Vendoo was because on List Perfectly, the way you delist and relist, there's more involved. You have to touch more buttons to delist and relist. And it takes more time. Versus on Vendoo, I go through and I pick 10 items, pick Poshmark, and it delists those 10 items for me. It takes 2 seconds versus 30 seconds per item because you have to go through and double check and click this and click that. On Vendoo, they do all that for you. All you do is say delist, relist, click the items that you want. You have up to 10 that you can do. Click what platform you want to delist on and relist on, and it just does it. Everything. It does all your details. You don't have to fill in descriptions or anything like that unless something was kicked off. But for the most part, you could do up to 10 items and boom, it just does it for you. That's a huge time saver for me compared to what I was having to do on List Perfectly. If you use List Perfectly, I'm not saying not to use it. If that works for you, but delisting and relisting on List Perfectly just takes more time because you actually have to go into each of the items, pick the details, and then relist it. Again, on Vendoo, they do all that for you the way Vendoo is set up. So that was one of my main reasons for switching, and I just miss Vendoo. Vendoo works really well for me. I like the platform. I like how it lists things. I can list everything on eBay to start with and just bring it on over. Or Poshmark when I'm doing my boutique items. Yeah, it just works really well for me. I would love to know in the comments below though, do you use List Perfectly and do you use Vendoo? And if you use either one of those platforms, tell me why you use that platform. And if you used to use one but switched to the other, I would love to know why you switched to the other and what you like better about the one you switched to. Okay? So let's talk about about like the sharing bots. There are 3 sharing bots. One is free and 2 are paid. Now I have used all 3 now. I'm going to give you my opinion about all 3 and then I would love to know you guys' opinions. There's Poshmark VA, which is what I started out with honestly at the very beginning of starting on Poshmark because I did not even know about the other 2 when I started out. Poshmark VA, I do believe it's like $25 a month, and by the time they do tax and everything, it's like $26 or $28 or something like that once it's all said and done per month. The thing about Poshmark VA is if you are using it on your laptop, they do not have an app for it. It's just laptop based. So if you close your laptop at night, which I do, I don't keep my laptop open at night. I actually shut my laptop down at night. And my husband and I have agreed for ourselves, my family, we do this just to, well, there's a reason why I do it. But I shut everything down at night. Plus it gives my laptop time to just rest and not be functioning. It's good for your laptop not to be on 24/7 all the time for the health of the laptop. So I do shut mine down at night. With Poshmark VA, once you shut it down, it does not automatically send the offers because your laptop is shut down and the VA is not kicked in and active. Versus Poshmark Sidekick, because it is also an app on your phone can be sitting anywhere and it still kicks in and sends out an offer. Versus Poshmark VA, if you close down your laptop, it doesn't send the offer until you reopen your laptop. Now, I know some people were like, I leave my laptop open all the time. I don't. I do shut mine down at night for the health of my laptop and other reasons. So when I get up first thing in the morning, after I've done my morning routine, and I go to my laptop to start my day, I open everything up. I open up all my platforms. I open up Vendoo. I open up YouTube. I open up, my Poshmark VA and all that stuff, and just activate everything, get everything going. That's the first thing that I do. Okay, so I started out on Posture VA, and I do like Posture VA. But again, if you shut down your laptop like I do, then my offers don't go out all night. So I've also used Posh Sidekick. I do like Posh Sidekick. The only thing about Posh Sidekick that I didn't like is that you can't send your offer out 5 minutes after somebody likes it. The minimum amount you can send it out is 15 minutes. But that 10 minutes, in my opinion, isn't really that much of a big deal. But the other cool thing about Posh Sidekick is because it's an app also, if you shut your computer down at night for the health of your computer and just want things shut down, it still sends offers because it's on an app, which is still active on your phone. The other thing that I do kind of like about Posh Sidekick is that when you make a sale, it gives you a ka-ching sound notifying you that you've made a sale. Now, I talked about this a couple weeks ago, how on the Posh feed, because there's so many lives and so many people sharing, liking things and all that stuff, I've actually had offers or sales get mixed up in my feed and not see them. Literally. I have almost missed offers in my feed because it's gotten mixed up. Like when you get notified on your Posh Lives, I've had offers. You see, they do like if somebody likes something or shares something from your closet, there's a feed that notifies on your phone there. And then there's a second feed for lives. There's two separate notifications you get on your phone now. In the lives feed, I've had offers get mixed up in the lives notifications, and I've almost missed sending or accepting an offer because it got mixed up in lives. And the only reason why I knew is because I was going through the lives one by one by one. Oh my gosh, it's an offer that's not a live. And then I look at it, and somebody sent me an offer for an item. But if I would have just scrolled that off my phone and not looked at it, I was going to potentially miss that opportunity to sell something because it was mixed up in the live notifications. So on Posh Sidekick, it notifies you when you make a sale. It gives you a ka-ching sound. It's a different type of ka-ching sound, but it gives you a ka-ching sound through the app saying you have made a sale, similar to what eBay does. eBay gives you a ka-ching sound also. And I can like that because if I'm busy doing stuff and I've made a sale and I didn't know that I made a sale, I can actually go through and not worry about that sale getting mixed up in all the shares and likes and all, lives and all that. I made a sale, and I knew to go through and delist that item and not take a chance of selling it again because I didn't know to delist it. So that is a couple benefits that I do like about Sidekick, is it notifies you when you've made a sale, and it notifies you when you get an offer, and it doesn't get mixed up with things. And both Posture VA and Sidekick are pretty much the same price per month. You can do your sharing. You can even list through Posture Sidekick. They also have an app. If you don't like doing your descriptions on your own, there is an app on there where that you can set up to have your own descriptions put together if you want. So there are some really nice benefits to Posh Sidekick compared to Posture VA. I know a lot of people use Posture VA. And then a third bot you can use is free, which is Flip, which I have been currently using now. I've been using for a few months, couple months anyway. I have to say, when I first got it, I really liked it because it was free. I still send my offers. I'm able to do community shares through that, and then I can do my, my sharing of my listings through that. But what I've been noticing is sometimes when you set it up to automatically send offers, depending on what you're doing on your computer, I'm noticing it kicks off automatically sending my offers. And even if I have it active, it's not always sending offers out. And I've reached out to them and they've said, please do this. And even underneath the offers thing, the screen, it says, please make sure you're doing this and this. I've done all the things when Flip responded back to me saying, please make sure you're doing this. You should still, your offers will get sent out. I've done everything that the screen and that customer service said to do. And there's still times that I'm not getting offers sent out on my pieces, and they're within the price bracket of my offers set up. So even though it's free, I am seriously thinking about going back to maybe Sidekick, which was one of my favorites out of the two that I just shared, because I can put it on my phone, shut my laptop down. I can still send out offers and be notified when I do make a sale, and do that. So I'm thinking about switching back to Posture Sidekick. I would love to know in the comments below, out of those three, sharing and all that tools for Poshmark, which one you guys use. And again, like I asked about the listing platform, tell me why you like it. And if you've used one and are using the other one now, tell me why you switched and what you like about the one that you're using now. Okay, that's what I had today, guys. Simple, only 30 minutes. I'm trying to keep these reseller videos shorter so that they're not 45 and 50 minutes. I know that's kind of long. Oh, and I do have an announcement, y'all. I'm super excited to share with you guys. So excited. I've been working on this for a while. I now know how to do interviews on Zoom. I've got Zoom all set up. I paid for the ability to do Zoom the way I want to do these meetings. I tested out with a friend of mine. We just did a video chat the other day to test it out and make sure that it was working. I've got 2 people lined up in January who want me to reach out to them, and they're resellers, and we're going to be doing an interview with them to get to ask them questions about their reselling journey and how they do things. And I've got other resellers that are in the reselling community, whether they're on YouTube or whatever, that I want to do interviews with. Going to be reaching out to more people, but I've got 2 people so far that said, yes, please reach out to me in January after the holidays. Let's do an interview. And my average time for those interviews will probably be about an hour, because I want to ask them questions about reselling, give them an opportunity to share their story, how they got into it, any tips and tricks. So I'm hoping that this is going to be a huge blessing to all of us. Some of the resellers aren't as known, and other resellers are really known. So I'm super excited about this. I'm probably going to start doing one a month. If you know of a reseller that you would love to know their history, love their tips and tricks, love to hear about how they're doing and what they're doing, let me know in the comments below if there is a reseller that you would like me to interview, and I'll reach out to them and try and get interviews set up. But again, I've already got 2 lined up. I'm going to have more. I've got a list of some people I'm going to reach out to. So interviews are going to start after the first of the year. I'm super excited about this, guys, because there's so many resellers out there, and each one of them has their own tips and tricks, their own story. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun to hear how they're doing what they're doing. And each one has their own niche. Not everybody sells the same thing. So maybe some that they're doing in a niche that you sell in could be a benefit and a blessing to you. So I'm super excited about that. So that's the huge announcement today, you guys. Very excited. Guys, I'm going to let you go for today. And again, happy Thanksgiving. And as always, be productive. We'll see you next time.